Hello and welcome to Q&A Day with me, Chloe. Thank you so much for being here. Today's question is, what do you do when you don't have time for social media? The answer is that you make time. As a small business owner, you have two priorities. Any business owner, two priorities. Find new customers and look after the current customers that you have. Those are our priorities. No matter what business you're in or what you're doing, that's our focus. So when you say that you don't have time, the problem is that you're not focusing on the right tasks. You're not prioritizing correctly, and you're not making time for your customers, who are the lifeblood of your business, right? Without them, you have no business. So nothing is more important than them, and nothing should come first ahead of your customers, because you have no business without them. So with that in mind, the one thing you want to do is start by scheduling time in for social media, being intentional with that as well. And not only in scheduling, making sure that you're not trying to do everything at once. So often we get in front of the computer screen and we're like, well, I got to respond to these notifications, and I got to write content, and I got to create graphics, and I got to look at my analytics, and I got to do all this stuff, and it becomes a mess that is overwhelming and can lead to procrastination, and honestly just puts you off doing the whole thing, when really it's not about all that stuff. It's about making that connection and having that conversation with your customer, which is a beautiful thing because it allows you to serve them in the best way that you can, but it also allows you to get that instant feedback that you need to improve your business and the service that you are offering. Now, when I say scheduling time, you might want to block that time into specific tasks. So this time I'm going to create all my content on Monday morning from 9 till 10, and I'm going to schedule it all out, and then from 3 to 4 I'm going to make sure that I'm online and I'm engaging, and I'm going to make sure that it's very clear that that's when I'm online with my customers, so that if they do have questions, I'm almost training them to come and ask them at that time. And that really helps too. Just keep in mind that you should be online when they're online. It's not, that's how it works. They have choice, they can go elsewhere. If you want to be able to serve them in the best way that you can, you have to be online when they are, and that comes back to understanding who your target demographic is. So that's one thing. The second thing is avoid being distracted. Often we get caught up as a user on social media and we think it's taking up a whole lot of time, but really you've just been scrolling through your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed or Instagram pictures for the last hour or so, and not even realize that you were on there to do a specific set of tasks that are going to take your business from where you are now to where you want it to be. So that's really important as well. Don't schedule in those blocks of time and then make them intentional in how you use them. The other thing you want to do is the conversations you are having with your customers, it's not a case of responding. We all take this sort of back seat and are very much on the defense, I guess, when it comes to social media. We're responding to people. That's not the case, or it shouldn't be the case. We should be very proactive and looking for every opportunity we can to build that relationship and take it to the next level, and help them to take the next step, whatever that may be, whether it's a micro commitment, a call to action, a conversation on the phone, whatever your next stage is. You should be trying to guide them to that place. The sales don't happen on their own. You have to help make them happen. A good example of this was when I was in New York recently. I was in a bank. Of course, I can't open a bank in America as a UK citizen, but I was sitting in the waiting room and the manager comes in, very friendly. How are you doing, ladies? All of this. A woman says, I can't even remember what she said. She said something, and like within an instant, he came back with 2 free gifts, which were cups, which I will feature on this channel just to give him some cred again. But the point is, he ended up signing, the woman's mum was in for her bank account, but he ended up signing up the whole family on the spot, 6 or 7 people. And that's because in the conversation he wasn't salesy, he wasn't pushing, he was being friendly and nice, joking along, but he was intentionally guiding them closer to having that meeting or having that sale. 6 new customers instantly just from doing that. Still being friendly, still not being too promotional, but intentionally guiding the conversation to the point where they did sign up. So that's what we want to do in business as well. And the other thing I would say is invest in tools that are going to help you doing that. So people say, I don't want to have money to invest. You are always going to invest either time or money, and you have to think what your worth is. And if a tool is going to help you to achieve what you need to do in a much shorter space of time, less than what you're worth for, say, an hour, or however much you charge for an hour, then you're going to get the return on investment. It's worth investing in those right tools, especially because building a consistent presence has such a huge impact in business. Is really, really important on social media. So if that allows you to stay on top of your game, invest in the scheduling tools. Just be sure that the tools you're investing are adding value, so you're not trying to automate your conversations and things like that. But as far as like scheduling content, especially evergreen content out, it's okay to do that. It's 100% okay. If you would prefer to invest in a dashboard like Hootsuite, again, if that's going to help you manage those conversations in different platforms, then go for it, because you're going to get the return on that investment very quickly and be able to build a more consistent, professional and valuable experience for your customers online. And then my final tip is to use your minutes in the day. We waste our minutes, and it's crazy because we only have one life to live, and our seconds count. They're gone. Once they're gone, they're gone. So you can sit there playing Candy Crush or reading an article on somebody else's content, or you can use those spare minutes when you're waiting in the queue, waiting for the kettle to boil, all that good stuff, and you can use that to respond to people or start a conversation with your customers, proactively, again, reaching out to them. And when you do that, you find that you will see a huge impact in the results that you get from social media, and you will realize that putting your customers first and looking after your current customers both offline and online is the best thing that you can do. It will save you time, it will make you money, and really that's like the end goal. But at the end of the day, above all else, you have to remember that your customers come first. And so when you say you don't have time for social media, you're saying you don't have time for your customers. And again, if you don't have time for them, they won't have time for you. They're the ones that are keeping you in business. So we have to be customer first and customer focused at all times. They are the priority. They're always number one on your to-do list. And so I hope that helps. I hope that helped you find the time to be using social media as effectively as you can. One last note on that: social media is not the be all and end all of business. Remember that it's the overall experience that, again, guiding them from one place to another. So it's not a case of spending all your time on social media. Again, it's about being intentional with the time that you do spend there. Once again, hope you find that valuable. Never forget that you have the power to change the world one connection and one conversation at a time. Much love from my heart to yours, and I hope we speak soon.